Hey, how's it going, YouTube? My name is Roberto. I just want to thank you so much for checking out my video. I want to start off traditionally, as always, by thanking the whole XJW community. I want to give a big shout out to you, faded Jehovah Witnesses, you inactive Jehovah Witnesses, um, Jehovah Witnesses, wherever you fit at. I want to give you a shout out and an additional thanks if you are a subscriber checking out another video of mine, or you know what I mean, of your second time around visitor. I want to thank you. I appreciate it. And I thank you once again if this is your first time checking out one of my videos. If this is all new to you, please, when you get time, feel free to browse around my channel, see if there's anything of it that's there that may interest you, any of the topics and the things that I talk about, any of the subjects. Possibly someone who's a Jehovah Witness or ex-Jehovah Witness, or something, they have some type of affiliation with it, or you just simply curious. Feel free to check out anything that I have there. Feel free to communicate with me. Drop a comment. Whatever you like. Of course, if you see something that is worthy for you to put a thumbs up, do so. If you feel free, if you feeling what I'm saying and what I'm putting out there, I support to all XJWs that's out there and who are leaving and stuff like that. If you whatever you see and you like, please feel free to subscribe. It's up to you. But look, at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to do is just to help and encourage other people who are really spiritually struggling right now, for whatever their reason is in the Jehovah Witness religion right now. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, a lot of people suffering, and some people feel caught up, and that's the real purpose for me doing what I'm doing with this channel and putting these videos out. So once again, my name's Roberto, and I apologize if I said that twice because sometimes I forget. So yeah. So I'd rather say it more than once and know that I said it than you over here looking and you're like, who's this person? So it is possible. Anyway, this video right here is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be, the majority of this video technically is not going to be with me in front of the camera. This is just me introducing this video and what it's going to be about. When I first came out, my coming out video, I put a video out as me introducing myself, who I am, me being, I gave my XJW story, long story short, and I gave the reasoning why I left. Now, the reason why I left the whole Jehovah Witness religion and that whole scene is because of that whole child abuse situation. I left because I don't rock with that. I got kids, I got my wife. I don't like their policies or what they do or what they're not doing with child abuse. That's something that don't sit well with me, because how they choose to deal with that, the governing body chooses to deal with their religion and their congregation or then their members with that, with child abuse, that sexual child abuse is a no-no for me. That's the reason why I left. The reason why I'm kind of bringing that back up now is because this video right here is going to be talking about child abuse. It's going to be talking about that. All right, so the reason why I decided to make a very informative video about this and bring this information on my channel and on this video is because I happened to come across a watchtower that obviously I'm a little late to, but I felt the real need to bring out and highlight some points because I reviewed it. This specific watchtower, okay, came out a couple of months ago. And of course, obviously, the governing body had made this Watchtower study edition for all the congregations and Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. And it's basically talking about child abuse and all their child abuse issues, how they handle it and so forth, and all the specifics. And I felt that, it would be appropriate for me to talk about and bring out certain points. So basically, I reviewed the watchtower, and I'm gonna put it out here for you to see all the points and all the questions and everything that I brought out on this watchtower that talks specifically about child abuse within the congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses. All right, so with that done and said, I hope that you were able to, walk away with a lot of, valuable information, at least way more information about Jehovah's Witnesses and child abuse, before you even started seeing this video and seeing, I hope it just in some way it gives you more accurate information and knowledge as as opposed to for what you didn't know or the things that you did heard. This right here is going to be firsthand. So I'll see you on the flip side, because I'm about to switch off and now you're just going to hear my voice, and we're going to do this little watchtower session where you're going to see me reviewing everything and I'm bringing everything out. So I'll catch you on the flip side. Enjoy. I thank you once again. See you soon. Well, a few things I want to start off with before we go any further. I just want to mention real quickly. First, I want to give thanks. I want to thank you again, okay, for your time and seeing this video through with all this information. I appreciate it. With that, I also want to inform you and let you know that this would not be a full actual review from cover to cover of this entire watchtower. Okay, just want to throw that out there. I will only be reviewing specific paragraphs. Okay, and I will only be covering, this is a total of 5 studies within this watchtower. I'm only covering 3. All the information, it will be specifically tailored and talking on anything that has to do with child abuse regarding Jehovah's Witnesses, which here they have in the beginning of this watchtower, which is in studies 18, 19, and 20, which is we'll be covering from pages 1, or technically pages 2 to 20, and there will be a total of 25 paragraphs, all in total, okay, that I will be taking information from and putting specific attention on as I'm reviewing the information that they have here beforehand for us to take a look into. Know that this is going to be a 2-part video. This is the first part, and in this first part, my goal is to review as much as I can. I'm going to do my best to do study 18 and 19, and we'll be doing just about 20 paragraphs, and we will be covering the very last study towards the end, and actually in the concluding part 2 video, okay, that will be covering just all 5 more paragraphs and concluding information, and everything will be focused on the victims of child abuse and stuff of that nature. So with that done and said, I just also want to make clear and make mention that, I'll do my best. I have my desk laptop here that I'm doing this live on. I have my notes, my papers in the background. I'll do my best to try not to make so much rattling of the papers and so much noise and so forth. So my apologies ahead of time if the surrounding noises or it's too noisy. So I'm just telling that ahead of time. With that done and said, I have 6 questions that I came up with. This is the very first question. I have, like I said, 6 questions and also some points along those questions that I came up with regarding this review of this watchtower that I'll be doing. So let's get right into question number 1. Question number 1 that I came up with is this: what's the real reason why child abusers are in the congregations? So what is the real reason? It's a great question, isn't it? I mean, most people know, some people have an idea, okay, but let's see if we can find and get that answer located here. What is the real reason why these child abusers is actually in this religion, in the Jehovah's Witnesses, amongst them, in their congregations? To get that answer, we will have to go to pages 9 and page 11, and we're going to look at paragraphs 7
and 17. Okay, so come there with me, follow along. So I'm gonna go and leave out the first study that was study 18. We're gonna go to study 19, which will be focused on study article 19, which is the entitled Love and Justice in the Face of Wickedness. This is where they're gonna talk about majority of their child abuse issues. So we're in page 9, and we're there at paragraph 7. On the right hand side, as you see, it talks about a sin against the secular authorities. Okay? And there they put there the information they have, that they will have you know and understand how they view secular authorities, which is the law and authorities and stuff of that nature. They see that, that it's important to, abide by the secular authorities. Okay, so they subject to it's a sin to them if you're not subjective to the authorities, basically. So as you see there, this highlighted, it says that, the elders, okay, they do have respect for the laws of the land, but there we have the red marking. Further down it says, but, despite that, it says, while the elders, though, are not, keywords, are not authorized to enforce the law of the land. So therefore, basically what they're saying is they don't have that green light. They don't have that go ahead to, enforce anything that has to do with laws that's been broken or is about to be broken, or they're going to prevent anything, take any preventive, they're not going to have no preventive measures or actions, in other words, to stop anything from happening, even if it's in the case of child abuse and laws related to that and so forth. So this is what they're basically saying here. Okay, when they say the elders are not authorized to enforce the law of the land. Okay, to get a little bit more in-depth information of what they're saying on their end, we could swing to page 11 and paragraph 17. Gives you a little more in depth of what they're talking about here when they're saying that, the elders are not authorized to enforce the law of the land and stuff of that nature. It's not too far. We go over here to page 11. And here we are going to zoom in a little bit. Right there to paragraph 17. There it says, under what is the role of the judicial committee, okay, there they tell you, there you have this, the elders, basically they don't have nothing to do with that. They don't partake, they don't judge or rule on whether the child abuser, okay, should be punished by the authorities, okay, for breaking the law, which is any law, child abuse laws included, and the elders do not interfere with the law enforcement. Okay, they don't interfere in no shape or form. Why? Because they leave criminal matters to the secular authorities. So there you have it. They up front, they're letting you know where they draw the line for themselves. Elders have a line drawn in between them and the law by the governing body that they abide by. That, they stick to those rules. That's their boundaries. So basically, the elders, like as I mentioned here with the information there, says, they don't prevent child abuse laws. What can you say? They're telling you they don't. They're not telling you no specific like that, but that's what you gather from that. They don't prevent child abuse laws or any laws for the matter from being broken amongst their Jehovah Witness members. Because why? So they don't enforce them. So what that technically means is that the laws that are broken or about to be broken by child abusers that's within the congregation are what? Well, yeah. The ending of the sentence is they leave criminal matters to secular authorities. So basically, they're telling you it's left alone. Of course, until they face, their child abuse, they have to come against the law and they have to face the penalties of the law. Then that's something different. But it will have to it has to get to that extent because Jehovah Witnesses is strict. they pass, they have like a no snitching code. It's like I kind of like put in those terms. They will not give nobody up, so to speak, even though with something as crucial as them knowing these type of harmful characters within their midst amongst innocent children and victims and stuff of that nature. They would not, for the life of them, so to speak, they will not break a code, or they won't pass that boundary that's given by the superior, or the governing body. Elders are very good at following those rules. They wash their hands of that. So if someone's in that situation, they basically left on their own. So there you have it. That's information there. Straight to it. I want to start with the real reason why child abusers are here in the first place. Why this conversation is here in your ears. Why am I reviewing this? Because this is there. This is in our face. This is an issue. This is a real problem. But this is their problem. This is a problem that they is created, it started, is grown, it continues to grow, and is on nobody's shoulders but theirs, because this is how they choose to handle it. This is how they choose to handle it. So this is their fault. This is their responsibility. So there you have it. This is the reason why child abusers are in the congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, and mentioning governing body a few minutes ago, speaking of the governing body and their elders, that leads me to a second point that I would like to bring up concerning the governing body. And this is, I have worded here to be brought out on how I have in my notes here, the governing body, okay, claims it's not their Christians' fault. It's not, or you could say it's not their congregation members, their Jehovah's Witnesses' faults in any way while child abuse, sexual child abuse, has affected their perverted behavior and spread it into their congregations. So what is their explanation? Okay, because this is a claim that they have made. This is something, remember, that I've got because I already reviewed this. This is something that they may claim to. So let's hear what their explanation is. We already got the reason why. What's the situation? What's the problem? But what are they saying is the reason, okay, why they don't have, they're not in no way, okay, held, you could say, accountable or responsible for this. So we go to page 8, which is right before 9, study article 19, and we're going to go to paragraph 3, and there it says, follow along with me, page 8, paragraph 3, it says, child sexual abuse is a worldwide plague, and true Christians have been affected by this plague. Why? Wicked men and impostors abound, and some may try to enter the congregation. In addition, some professing to be a part of the congregation have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires and have sexually abused children. Okay, so let's stop there. We don't need to go on any further. Well, I broke down this in my interpretation of what they're really telling us and what they're saying. So basically, if we go rewind and back up a little bit, interpreting what they're really trying to say, reading between the lines, this is what they're really saying here. Okay, let's take it back. So they're saying child sexual abuse is a worldwide plague, meaning they're implying, hey, this is an outside problem. This is outside of us. This is not something we created. It's a problem worldwide. It's a worldwide problem. And this problem is affecting us. Affecting who? Wording here, they're saying true Christians, which everyone who knows Jehovah's Witnesses or who was like myself, was one at one time, knows that Jehovah's Witnesses do go by holding that title, that reputation as being the only true Christian from the only true religion. So they're talking about themselves here. They're saying that they're affected by this worldwide problem, okay, and it's affecting them. But look on further as it goes in. Okay, pay attention here. Look, after it says men and apostles abound, look how they start to use wordplay and they change their tune. Okay, look how they start to, play with the words. They say some may, so some possibly, it's a possibility, it's possible. Some may try, that's a possibility. Some may try to enter the congregation. So basically, they're not already inside the congregation. They're trying to give you that impression. Well, they're not already inside because they're trying to get inside. They try to. Did you catch that? And also along that they say some professing, meaning they're saying basically some who is imitating or claiming to be a part of them. You see that? You caught that? Some professing to be a part of the congregation, be a part of who they are. You see? Imposters. You see how they put in that? And so those type of persons, you see how they kind of throwing it off of them? You see that? They're the ones that have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires. And it's causing these horrible sexual acts. You see this? Among children, as it says there, you see? So to really get down to it, to differentiate of what they're saying and not saying and stuff like that, to cut the chase and all of that stuff, it leads me to really figuring out and digging what they're saying. I'm challenging according to information, and I want to differentiate and I want to compare what they're saying here, because now they're changing things up. They're making it appear that it's not even amongst them in no shape or form. So that led me off of this information to go to this and form this third question, which is who would succumb to such desires as they mentioned? And are they in fact truly a part of the congregation? So to get the answer, we need to figure out who and why would one succumb to such desires. All of that is together, you see. So let's get into that. Who are these persons? Are they really a part of the congregation? What would they reveal? So let's move right on over, and we're going to read paragraphs 6 and 8, page 9. We're going to read some of that. Page 9, as we can see, we there, page 9. Okay. There it says on paragraph 8, okay, it says, above all, where it says above all I sin against God, as you see there in the lower part of that paragraph there, it says when an individual who's a part of the congregation, you see that? When a person who is a part of the congregation abuses a child, robbing that child of his or her security, he is behaving unfaithfully towards God. And this is who? An abuser, a child abuser. See, as it says there, the abuser brings great reproach on Jehovah's name. So now a couple of paragraphs after that, next page over, they changing their song. The wordplay changes a little bit. Now they're rewording it and they're saying, look, the ones that are a part of us who has something to do with this, now they're tying those two together. Look over in paragraph 6. Okay, paragraph 6, where it says a sin against the congregation. Now they're saying when someone who is what? Has to do a part of their congregation, becomes guilty of child abuse, he brings great reproach on the congregation. Mind you, that is very horrific. That's at its worst, because now at this point, what they're implying here is when not only is someone who's a part of the congregation, but when it's become known to the elders that they're actually guilty, meaning that this is something that they have technically done to a child, a victim, innocent victim. This is him. He's bringing reproach on the congregation. You see that? So it's on their, in God's name that he brings reproach, and it's on the congregation. So now they changed their wordplay in their song. So, I pay attention. It's interesting how they saying one thing, making it seem partial. They're giving, they're being, they kind of trying to swerve around. They try around what the real reality is, but then they come around to having to put it out there anyway. In some sense, they have to put it out there. They can't go around it. Too much is going on around them for not to put it for as what it is, which leads to this. So there you have it. So the one who succumbed to these persons is already a part of the congregation. So it shouldn't be a question if they trying to answer, because here they will not have this put and worded that way, because that means obviously that there has to be instances and times when individuals have done this. This is why they have this here, okay? So going in further into the why would a person do this? Because there mentions what the actual abuser does. Okay, the abuser, the abuser, they put in the terms here on paragraph 8. This individual, okay, is robbing the poor victim, the child, of his or her security, and is unfaithful towards God. Okay, but what is more to it that they put out there? So why would they do such a thing? They even give you details on why they would do such a thing. So it's interesting how they changing their tune and their song on paragraph 3. Okay, they telling you that they succumb, which is basically they giving into their weakness of perverted fleshly desires. You see that? You see that? And they giving in. You see that? But now, a couple of neighboring paragraphs over, a couple of pages over, this is page 8, go to page 10. Okay? Now they're letting you know some more on that. They breaking and they're giving it to you little by little is what they're really doing. There on paragraph 10 there, they tell you, on page 10 right there in paragraph 11, they're telling you, okay, in addition, if the wrongdoer is a part of the congregation, again, it's third time within 11 paragraphs and in 3 pages that they telling you a part of the congregation. 3 times they put that, from may try have something possibly do with the congregation. Now they're changing their song, their wordplay. Now they're saying if the wrongdoer is a part of the congregation, elders are not what? Now they're changing their whole tune and their whole song. They say elders are concerned. Now there's a concern now. It switched around. Now they're concerned with trying to restore him if it's possible. There next to 15a is begin to the next sentence. So if you can follow me on the upper right hand side, what are they saying there? Oops, excuse me. So there they're saying a Christian who gives into wrong desire and commits a serious sin is spiritually sick. See that there? Now they even change. Again, they did use a different name. Now they call them how it is, a Christian. All Christian, and they're implying they're referring to one of their own. A Christian who gives into a wrong desire, okay, which is succumbing to this perverted desire, fleshly desire, excuse me, that specifically was worded paragraph 3, okay. Now it's a wrong desire. Now they changing. You see the word play? Well, they give it into a wrong desire. This is why they're doing this. And why? Now they're giving you their legitimate reason why this will happen or take place. You see? Now they're saying, and they will commit this serious sin. What's the serious sin? The sexual child abuse. Why? Because they're spiritually sick. So there you have it. These is the types and the ones who succumb to such desires. This is why, and this is who. It's the JW's right there in the midst of you, in the midst of the congregation, right there in your backyard. They telling you it's right there. Okay? They're giving you the information right there up front. You know, you don't have to go too far, you see. And speaking of individuals and such, okay, this leads on to the next question that I formulated, and it goes on to say, this is this is the third question and fourth point. Who are the potential individuals who is a danger to your child, one they and you may know? So who are these people? Who are the potential threat and danger? Who are these individuals who is a danger to your child? One that they, meaning one that your child knows and you may know. We don't got to go too much far. We already been there. Okay? Page 9 already said it. Okay? It's the person who's within the congregation. These are the ones, if you're, to the parents who are a danger, who's a threat. Okay? These is the one that they know. Know your surround. Know who's around you. Okay? If you look there on page 9, we back on page 9. Okay? They give you all the information right there. We was already there. You see? The person who's a part of congregation becomes guilty of child abuse. Paragraph 6 it was already touched on. You see, when an individual who's a part of congregation, who's right there in paragraph 8, it was already touched on. The person a part of the congregation is who is the person who is a danger. Okay, these is the potential individual who's a danger to your child. Parents, this is specifically to you. Be vigilant, have your eyes open, you see. And these are the ones that your children know, they see on a daily basis. You see? Here, okay, it goes further to tell you. Paragraph 5. You see? Paragraph 5 says here, a sin against the victim. Look what the information they put there. A sin against the victim. It is a sin, and they're referring to the sexual child abuse against the victim, okay? It is a sin to inflict unjust pain and suffering on others, okay? As they will see in the next article, that the child abuser does just that. He hurts the child in devastating ways. He betrays the child's trust, robbing the child of his or her security. Now, did you catch that? And did you notice that they have that actually twice? You see that paragraph 5, where they talk about the child abusers, the abuser. He hurts the child in devastating ways, betrays the child's trust, robbing the child of his or her security. It's kind of repeated there on paragraph 8. Do you see that? But they just say individual. See that? Robbing the child of his poor, robbing the child of his or her security. You see that? So they are talking the same language there. You see that? But notice what it says there, right after security on paragraph 5. It says, children must, key word, children must be protected from what? Sexual child abuse. What do they call it as? They word it here as a wicked deed. You see that? From such a wicked deed. You see that? And that led me to form the next question and point that I will bring up now, which is question 5. And that says, children in the congregation, as it says there, it's also within this question here, children in the congregation must be protected from child abuse. But the congregation or elders won't be a part of that protection, which is true. And question alongside it is why? Why won't the congregation or the elders be a part of that needed protection from this wicked deed of child abuse amongst your children, amongst the children of the congregation? Well, to go to that answer, we won't have to go too far at all. Okay? The answer is right there. Okay? We're going to go to, we're going to actually go towards the ending of this article. This is page 12. We'll go over on the right. And this is page 13. And as you see there where it says how to protect your children, paragraphs 19 and 20. Okay, it tells you there what you need to do. If you're a parent now, you're currently amongst all of this that's around you and you're surrounding it now with this current, okay? They're telling you, they're telling you this is something that must be something that must be at least must take notice, something to take notice of, that the governing body made sure that this was worded there. And they had to. There's a lot of pressure on them. Here this says, let's read this, let's go along together. Here it says, who have the responsibility to protect children from harm or child abuse? Who? Parents do. Your children is yours. Your children are a sacred trust and an inheritance from Jehovah. It is who? The elders, the congregation? No, it's no one else, but it is your responsibility to safeguard that trust. What can we? No, it doesn't say we. What can elders? No. What does the other congregation members can do? No. What can you do to protect whose children? Your children from child abuse. You see that? You see how it says there? What can you do to protect your children from child abuse? You see? And then they give you, they give you a little advice, or they advise you what to look forward to. Paragraph 20, let's continue on. It says, first educate yourself, meaning you the parent, about what? Sexual child abuse. You see? There it says, learn about the kind of individuals who abuse children and the tactics they use to deceive them. Be alert to potential dangers. Remember that in most cases, the abuser is someone the child already knows and trusts. You see that? So they're telling you there, be alert, be vigilant, don't be naive. You see, this is no one's responsibility but yours. Remember, what's the question here? The children in the congregation must be protected from this wicked deed, child abuse. Sexual child abuse is something huge, it's big. But like I have it here, the elders of the congregation are not going to be part of that protection. It's only you and either your husband, it's only you, and it's your responsibility, okay? They wiping their hands on this. This is not on them. They smart, they strategic. And they're telling you. And you notice what it says here. It says, educate to learn. You see that keyword, learn. They want you to learn. They're telling you. Now, how much you learn and you educate yourself and figure out like what's going on now about these kind of individuals who abuse children like yourself, innocent, that's totally up to you and their tactics. You see, notice what it says there, the abuser is someone the child already knows. You see that? One of the things that we had already kind of touched on regarding the abuser, if you just take a real quick glimpse on page 9, if you notice it towards the ending, the abuser brings great reproach on Jehovah's name. Did you catch that? When an individual is already a part of the congregation, abuses a child and does all of this stuff and is unfaithful, and now what we have already read, put that together. You do the math. You figure it out. The answer's there. The abuser is someone the child already knows. It's like you got to decode what they're actually saying. You see that? Well, now going on to moving along to the next question that I have. The last question is question number 6. Okay, as we have mentioned throughout, we've been talking about the elders in such regards to the sexual child abuse and amongst other things here so far, thus far, and we're bringing a little light. We're bringing light on the governing body who's responsible for everything that's going on with their congregation and the sexual child abuse. This next question is geared towards the governing body. So question number 6 and point 6 is, what's the governing body's real key word, real concern with their child abusers' congregation members? Yeah. What's the governing body's real concern with them? Because we know why they're there. We know what's the problem thus far from the information that we have within this half hour or so is brought out. So why they want them there? Why is they there? What's more to it? What's their real concern? Okay, with their abusers, they congregate, with their JEHOVAH Witnesses, child abusers. So, well, as mentioned in question 1's answer, okay, question 1's answer, it was covered. Elders don't concern themselves with the legal aspect of child abuse. Okay. Once again, they're not responsible for the legality of sexual child abuse and stuff of that nature. Okay, they don't concern themselves with that. But with the elders, they don't handle their child abusers in a lawful, legal way. We know this. They don't do that. And here's why. Okay, take it over here, not too far. We just move right back over. If we take it from here on page 10, on paragraph 9, right there, I have highlighted where it says elders, right above paragraph 10. It says, elders have received, or what? Elders what? Elders are trained on how to handle what? The spiritual aspect of child abuse. Here they have it worded. Elders are trained on how to handle the sin of child abuse. You see that? So they only handle the sinful part. That's what they train for by the government. That's their training under the governing body. You see, that's all they're concerned with. Nothing else. No enforcing laws and stuff of that nature and preventing anything and none of that stuff. Okay, so let's go on further there and drop down there, not too far. Okay, and we're going to go into right there in paragraph 10. Okay, and then again, we're still trying to dig into that answer of, what's their real concern with their child abusers, amongst them. There it says, when elders handle any matter involving serious wrongdoing, they keep in mind that the law of the Christ requires that they treat the flock with love and do what is right and just in God's eyes. As a result, they have a number of concerns when they receive a report of serious wrongdoing, which is sexual child abuse. They get a report about that. It says here, it goes on to say, the elders are primarily concerned with maintaining sanctity of God's name. They are also deeply concerned with the spiritual warfare of their brothers and sisters in the congregation and want to help any who have been victims of sexual child abuse or how they have it there of victims of wrongdoing. So I've broken that down, and I want to give special attention to this here, as this is very important to the information in hand with this horrific problem with sexual child abuse here. in the congregations of you Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, just going to zoom in a little bit. Stop there. All right. So now that we read that, let's break this down. I've broken this down, and I've chosen to break this because this is where the answer lies into what is the governing body's real, true concern with their child abusers. Okay. We notice here the breakdown is this is how I broke it. How I broke things down. So elders have a number of concerns. So what are these concerns? What are the concerns the number of concerns? What are they talking to? Well, they have it right there before you. See, when they receive a report of serious wrongdoing, which is sexual child abuse. What are their number of concerns? Well, they have it there in an order, specific order, if you notice there, in paragraph 10. And let's break down that order. The first one is the elders are primarily concerned with maintaining the sanctity of God's name. So basically, what are they saying there? Let's break that down. In a nutshell, simply put, the governing body and elders are what? They're deeply concerned with their reputation, with their religion's name. That's what that means. So that's the first thing that they're primarily concerned with. Number one, not who's been hurt, who's been scarred, who's doing it, but their name. Okay? And as we saw, neighboring paragraphs and pages not too far, 2 pages down, on page 9, if you look back, we could look back, but there it said, a sin against the congregation. That paragraph says, when someone who is a part of the congregation becomes guilty of child abuse, he brings reproach on the congregation. So they highlighted that. You see that? And we can go there real quick. It's right there. Paragraph 6, next page over. See that? Sin against the congregation. So that's their primarily concern. That's their main concern firsthand. The second thing, if we go back, the second thing that they're concerned about, as they're in order, they say, what? They are also deeply concerned with the spiritual welfare of their brothers and sisters in the congregation and want to help any who have been victims of wrongdoing. Okay? Let's break that down. What are they saying? So how I interpreted it is this. Okay? They basically saying there that the elders is basically saying they have the concern of dealing with the congregation's spiritual battle as Satan. Sure, Satan is within the mix and Satan is in the congregation with his very strong influence, and they're dealing with the crucial repercussions of it. They're dealing with the crucial repercussions from Jehovah's Witnesses committing sexual child abuse acts inside their congregation. Okay? So there you have it. Am I taking it too far? Am I going left field with this? Am I exaggerating? Or is it true? Is it true? If you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're hearing me now, and if you're hearing me now, and if you know in your heart of heart what I'm saying, if it's true and you believe it, well, listen. It's not just word of mouth, though. It's not just word of mouth. Are they right along the same lines with me? Well, let's check out what they have here. Let's see if they also are in tune to what I'm saying as well. Because interestingly, they have the same type of information, if you follow along with me, that's in, a different area within this watchtower. And you see right here. Let's scroll real quick. We're just going to go over to the next study article, which is study article 20. And if we go over right to the second page within that, page 15, on paragraph 8, if you follow along with me, look what they have there. Look what they have there. It says, such widespread abuse, child abuse, is clear evidence that we are living in the last days. a time when many have no natural affection, and when wicked men and impostors, that same wordplay again, those same familiar words. You see that? And when wicked men and impostors will advance from bad to worst, Satan's designs are truly evil, and it is sad when humans act in a way that what? Pleases the devil. You see that? So now they're saying that, you see how they have that there? You see, Satan's what? Satan's designs are truly evil. And so what are these? So that means Satan's designs explains why some now are succumbing to this sexual perverted behavior. You see that? His influence is all over the congregation. You see? And it's sad that what? They don't even say that, they're not using no terms in, individuals or wrongdoers or abusers. They're not even putting it there because it's so horrific. They saying simply humans. And it's sad when humans act in a way that pleases the devil. You see that? And then it goes on to say, however, Jehovah is far stronger than Satan. You see that? Are you following me exactly what's saying? You see, Satan's influence. This is Satan's influence. Any man that does deeds like this is definitely influenced by Satan, the devil. You see that? And if you notice, look what it says. However, Jehovah is stronger than Satan or his what? His servants. So basically, they're saying, in other words, that Jehovah Witnesses who carry out these wicked deeds and acts of sexual child abuse, okay, is considered servants of Satan. You see that? And also says he is never blind to Satan's tactics. Well, obviously, Satan's tactics is something that's being exercised today in the congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. You see? See? And this is what's going on. This is a spiritual warfare. This is a spiritual battle. Unfortunately and sadly, that's going on now. Something that can be avoided. Something that truly can be avoided. You see? And they're going through it. Jehovah's Witnesses right now is going through it. It's a real tough time. As we scroll back, go back into the study article that we was originally in, which was 19. And just touching back on to page 9, paragraph 4. We can see it. They put it there. Someone's touched on, right on the gravestone. There they say, child abuse has far-reaching consequences. You see that? It affects the victims as well. So not just the victims, but as well as those who care about the victims, which are their family members and their Christian brothers and sisters. From where? Where from? From the congregation. You see that? So going back, as we breaking down the question, the original question, what's the governing body's real concern with child abusers? Congregation, we getting that answer. We breaking it down. All right, from page 10. Okay. And we doing it, breaking down the order of what they have here when it comes down to handling any matter of serious sexual child abuse, of any of wrongdoing. Okay. And if you notice there, we already touched and covered that their main concern is the name of and reputation of their religion. The next after was the spiritual warfare of their brothers and sisters, we just covered. But last but least, who they happen to mention and remember. There where it says they want to help any who have been victims, children, primarily children, of sexual child abuse, of wrongdoing. The elders, so this is the elders' level of concerns for the sexual child abuse children. This is what their level of concern is at for them. At the bottom, they're last. They're the last ones to be concerned about. You see that? So this is the order when issues come up when the elders serious wrongdoing like sexual child abuse is brought up to them. You see? Right there, we done covered everything there. But if you take a second look, a second take, and if you really was to get technical and analytical to really see what's really truly the real first thought of mind and at heart of what the elders is really concerned with, truly concerned with, then you will technically notice, if you haven't already, in that very first sentence, where it begins with when and end at eyes, God's eyes, technically that's the first thing that they're really concerned with. Let's go into that. Let's rewind a little bit and let's back up and let's go into that. Let's read that one more time. Follow along with me. It says, when elders handle any matter in serious wrongdoing, which is sexual child abuse in this case, they what? What does the elders do? Well, they keep in mind that the law of the Christ requires that they what? That they treat the flock with love and do what is right and just in God's eyes. The question is, what does that mean? What does that mean to us, or what does that mean to you? What are they saying? What was they saying what are they trying to say when they put that out there? Well, let's get into that. In order to get deep understanding of that, what they're saying is, we will have to get a better understanding of what the elders follow when handling child abuse. What do they follow? I've broken this information down in two parts to simplify things, to get to that answer. And so the first breakdown, all right, to this here, is the first half. The first part of the answer will be to get to a better, accurate understanding of this. Is the first thing that we will have to tackle and understand is this: what's the law of the Christ? So here, as I have it, so the governing body, okay, have this new governing law. This is their new governing law, and it's called the law of the Christ. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the law of the Christ. And this is for their elders to use, to follow, and to enforce on their Jehovah Witness members. The full information, though, on the law of the Christ, okay, if you're interested, you want to get really and real much needed details for your accurate understanding and so forth. As you see, as I'm scrolling through, it's all the way at the beginning, okay, of this watchtower. And this is what this watchtower actually, they set the tone with before study Article 19, where we was talking about child abuse and so forth and those details. Here, and this is the first article, they start with on study Article 18, which is titled Love and Justice in the Christian Congregation. They go into the all in depth details about the law of the Christ. Okay, but for the sake of time, but also at the same time to give you a basic little understanding about this, what I decided to do ahead of time was to come up with seven details I came up with to give you a basic, somewhat full understanding about what the law of the Christ is. And it's taken out of study 18, where we're at now, starting from here, from pages 2 all the way through 7. Okay, so follow along with me. Okay, so as you see there at the bottom of the page, paragraph 3, okay, JWs as Christians are under the law of the Christ. It says it there, page 2, paragraph 3, where it says Christians are under the law of the Christ. You see that? Now if we go over, scroll over on your right, page 4, I highlighted some other things in regards to JW's Jehovah's Witnesses in regards to the law of the Christ and all that pertains and what they have to do to it, how they partake with this. Okay. The law of the Christ includes everything Jesus taught. Blow that up a little bit there. You see? Everything that Jesus taught. Okay. The law of the Christ is built on the best possible foundation, love. Okay. And when the JWs, when they are obeying the law of the Christ, they are obeying their loving God, Jehovah, who is the source of all that Jesus taught. You see that right there, above, up top on the upper left side, and there in paragraph 8, you see. And when JWs treat others in loving ways, they're obeying this, the law of the Christ. You see that? Paragraph at the bottom, paragraph 12, you see? And also, if you look there on the ending part above 12.8, ending a part of paragraph 11, it says there, which is interesting, I must say, as a XJW, and now coming this new information. It says here, now the governing body puts this in this terms for them, that Jehovah is eager. Look at the choice words they chose here. Jehovah is now eager to welcome back a lost sheep who repents and returns to the congregation. Ain't that interesting? Jehovah's eager. And so if he's eager, of course, you know what they're going to say now. Okay? Gotta be like Jehovah. So of course, you know what they're going to say right there. How can JWs, how Jehovah's can imitate this love, Jehovah's love? Well, they view each of their brothers and sisters as valuable and as precious. And they gladly, just like Jehovah, who eagerly, they gladly welcome back a lost, just like Jehovah, a lost sheep who returns to Jehovah. You see that? See that right there? Paragraph 12. So this right here gives you a little basic understanding of this law of the Christ and how it's viewed and looked upon on the JW's eyes and stuff of that nature. Okay, so it gives you a basic little understanding there. So now that we have a basic understanding of what the law of the Christ is, okay, now we can break down further more into that first sentence. Just want to go back. All right, there we go, back to paragraph 10 in the second article. Let's just go back because we're breaking down that, you see. So now we broke down this, the law of the Christ, that it requires the elders. It's a requirement. Okay. And now it's to break down the other portions of that. So now it's basically, how are the elders required to treat the flock with love? That's the second thing to break down. And what is right and just in God's eyes? The third thing to break down. And most importantly, to get a better understanding, so what is this flock that they're referring to? All interesting thoughts and points to bring out and to answer. And to answer that, we're going to go to page 6, where we was at a few moments ago. Get more insight on that. So we're leaving off of study article 19, and we're going to go back to study article 18. And we're going to stop here at page 6. And then page 6, paragraph 22, there's a small open reminder to all elders and Jehovah's Witnesses to see. All right, this is for them to see. Let me zoom it. This is all for all to see and know that to see and know what the governing body expects out of them. Okay, and their congregations. You understand? This right here sets the tone. This is like their foundation when it comes down to this. All right. You see that? So this is the governing body specifically. They put this here as a reminder set for them. So let's read it. Let's go on to it. All right. Let's zoom it in a little bit. So here it says the expression. First of all, the expression "flock of God" remind elders that the sheep belong to Jehovah He wants his sheep to be treated with love and tenderness. Elders who lovingly carry out their responsibility as shepherds gain Jehovah's approval. See that? So they gain Jehovah's approval, and also it ends off with such elders also gain what? They also got to get extra love, so to speak, and they get love and respect out of the whole congregation, which is their brothers and sisters there. You see that? So in regards to the sheep that is worded here, okay, the sheep that belongs to Jehovah, we already kind of touched on that. All right, that sheep that they're referring to, that they want to be given this loving, tender attention and affection by the elders. The governing body has this put here. Who are they referring to? We already touched on it. Who would they? Well, I'm going to go back. Not too far. It was just there a few minutes ago. Who is the sheep? See that? So as page 4, paragraph 11, as you see there, upper right-hand side, this sheep, it defines a lost sheep, a child abuser, as one who repents, okay, and returns to Jehovah. That's who they refer to, and that's who they're talking about. You see that? Right there. Jehovah's eager for, you see? So there you have it. Technically, analytically, and in details, we have brought out a lot of information. Let's go right back to study Article 19. Let's return back to page 10 on the handling incidents of serious wrongdoing. Let's go back to page 10. Paragraph 10 on page 10. Sorry for the confusion. And now when we look at this now in details and we broke everything down, first of all, if you was like me, you was probably under the impression that we covered everything. And that was the same thing for me until I analyzed and I say, hey, wait a second. Yeah, they are talking about primarily who they're concerned with and all of that, and the brothers, sisters, and the victims. But I had to take it back and I said, well, you know what? What is this here? The flock and the love and what's right and stuff like that. And when I got into that, I said, oh, wow. Could have been easily overlooked. So there you have it. So the elders are required to treat child abusers with love as what? As the governing body claims, right? As they so claim that they belong to Jehovah. And doing this is what Jehovah approves of. There you have it, you see? And also love motivates elders to help the congregation's child abusers. Regarding the wrongdoers, technically child abuser, love moves the elders to consider, is he repentant? Can they help him regain his spiritual health? Elders are concerned with trying to restore him, a Christian, or technically the wrongdoer, the child abuser who gives in to wrong desire and commits a serious sin, is spiritually sick. You see that? You see that there? This is everything that they do is motivated by love. Everything when it comes down to their child abusers, their congregation members who are child abusers. This is what the governing body now is teaching and is training the elders how to go about this. And they also want to tag along all their congregation members, all the Jehovah's Witnesses as well. They want them to follow that pattern. Do you see that? And this, by the way, also is right there on paragraph 24 on page 7. Okay, and I'll go back there so you can see, touch on that. We'll go back a little bit back. So this is where we've been majority of the time, page 8 and page 7, we back up. just some of the stuff that I just covered. You see there, love. You see, love is the foundation of the Lord of Christ. They keep in mind. You see that? So when it comes down to it, this is how the elders handle spiritual aspects of serious wrongdoing. What they're talking about sexual child abuse. You see that? It's love. Love moves the elders. It motivates them. You see how the governing body has trained them and how they want everything to go. Love moves the elders to handle and deal with this sad problem, the poor victims of abuse. Is he repentant? Can we help him? And you see that there? You see? You see that? You see? Now we move over. Stuff that we already had touched already. Just put in the back. You see? Page 10. See? A Christian who gives in to wrong desire. You see that? Page 10. Paragraph 11. You see that there? And there also it mentions, okay, what they wanting to do. They highlight, see, they no longer have a, they're concerned. All they're concerned about, oh, they don't have a relationship with Jehovah. They don't have a relationship with God. You know? Oh, they're totally alarmed. You see, as they go there, you see, the elders are like what? They're like spiritual physicians. They endeavor to what? Make the sick one. Make the child abuser well. By how? What says it? The scriptures, you see, their scriptural, counsel can help him. So basically, their Bible can be that spiritual healing or medicine that can help the child abuser by restoring his relationship with God. It's possible if he repent. Right? See that? Another concern elders especially have is restoring a child abuser's faith. As according to as we mentioned, you see that? Why? Because as it was read and mentioned, it was brought as highlight. It's right there in front of you. They endeavor to what? Not try, not put forth efforts, but they endeavor, their whole focus is to make the sick one, to make the sexual child abuser well again. Well again for what? Well, you know why. I'll say how it is. To make the child abuser well again, to continue his relationship with God. And if that happens and he's continuing his relationship with God, well, what else? What's the next thing? They're not going to go to jail. No one's going to report them. Why are they doing that? Simply to keep them in their congregations. You see that? That's why. So the governing body is now putting their JW members to the ultimate test, testing their loyalty and integrity. Do they lovingly embrace sexual child abusers who repent and go about life as normal after acts of after acts of abuse to the poor innocent children and victims of their congregations? Following the law of the Christ, making these ultimate sacrifice will make any person spiritually conflicted. Anyone would be spiritually conflicted. You know, it's sad. This is what's going on. The sexual child abuse. And who would have thought that the day would be when JWs, Jehovah's Witnesses, all right, would be called on and be put forth, all right? It would be put forth there for them, okay, to do what one can say, the inevitable, by them being called on to imitate an attitude of God which welcomes child abusers with loving, open arms. Whoever thought the day would be, they would come to see this day. It's interesting. I never thought it would be this way, but look, you know, while society rejects them, while society rejects child abusers, Jehovah's organization is clearly embracing them. As we can see as a way of reminder this this law that they carry and they go by, a law built on love and using God's name, Jehovah, and claiming and speaking for them that Jehovah is eager to welcome back lost sheep, sexual child abusers who repent. Well, that just about wrap everything up right there. And I'll leave it there as this ends the first part of my video regarding the May 2019 Watchtower, regarding Jehovah's Witnesses and a huge major problem regarding sexual child abuse. And thank you so much. I want to say until my second part, where I will conclude and give some final thoughts and takeaways and stuff of that nature in regards to this whole review of the Watchtower. The next part will be focused on the victims. And till then, I just want to say, may you stay healthy, may you stay happy, and I wish you nothing more but peace. And thank you once again. Till my next video. Bye bye. Thank you.